You are still watching Prime Morning, and this is a news flash segment. My name is Roslyn Felly, and thank you, Sidwa, for that news. Today on a news flash segment, we are going to take a look at the year review, the political events, major political events that took place. We know that on the 7th of January 2025, we swore in President John Dramani Mahama, his second coming. Now, this is historic because we've never had a president go into opposition and come back to power. And so we'll talk about that and how his governance has been so far. For you at home joining us, let's know what you think how he's been so far to you, the highlights for you, what has been the good side and what has been the bad side for you. What do you think he can do better, and what do you think so far he's doing that you appreciate? Send your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. My guests are seated for the conversation. Joining me this morning, I have Solomon Owusu, who is the Communications Director for United Party. Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
We can't complain. Once we have life, there is hope.
That's true. We do have life, and there is definitely hope. All right. And also, I have George Aisi-Boateng, who is a part of the communications team for the New Patriotic Party. Good morning.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm good. My name is George Aisi.
Hey.
She's going to
She made a mistake.
My
Please
senior man is the George Aisi-Boateng.
Okay, okay. Please pardon us. Sometimes these things. Forgive us.
I understand.
Anyway, just like I said, you at home, you're part of it. This conversation is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still and still, phone prepare for you, whatever gadget you're looking for, mobile phones, television set. This festive season, look no other than Franco Trading Enterprise. We've got everything for you. Just make sure you download the app on your phone to make things simple. If you can't come to our shop, download the app on your phone, which is the Franco Trading app, or visit our website for further inquiries. It's www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone prepare for you. I'll start with the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper now, and then, we go into our main topics. So our Ghanaian Publisher newspaper, a Buankra port dispute, just more ordered to pay APSL $33.3 million. Minority will defend democratic values, and this is coming from Afenyo Marking. Buffer stock case, Yoko apologizes for case delays. Third GJA dinner comes off tonight, and Cardio Boss pushes for shared resources in heart care. That'll be it for the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The next newspaper is the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the Ghanaian Times. Political leadership must pursue national vision, and this is coming from Reverend Wingham. Ashanti Port wins $33.3 million in Buankra port arbitration. 636 blue water guards deployed to combat illegal mining and protect environment. Let me find out from Solomon what he thinks about this. Do you think the Blue Water Guard is working?
Well, so far, you cannot say much about it. We hear of NIMOS more, and we just have to find out from NIMOS whether they are working in close collaboration with the Blue Water Guards. Other than that, I'm here to feel the impact of the Blue Water Guards. The people that we are dealing with, as LMCS, are people that are sophisticated. I mean, these Blue Water Guards are young men and women who are unemployed. You are talking about people in Galamsey who have the resources. Whether or not they will be able to resist the temptation of being bribed is another matter. So we just have to find out from NIMOS and then see whether they are doing the whistle blowing, because as part of their mandate, they are also supposed to blow whistle to NIMOS for them to strike. So if NIMOS operations that they are doing is a mandating from some of these interventions, then you could say that it's a step in the right direction. Other than that, we don't want a situation whereby we will be dissipating our resources without any major impact to the economy.
Right. What about you, George?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to our viewers. As Solomon said, the impact of the Blue Water Guards is actually not being felt. But notwithstanding, I think their presence there alone sends a signal that there are some people monitoring operations and activities on our water bodies, and they can be akin to whistleblowers. So when they get information, they may not have the capacity to stop them, but they can easily get the information to NIMOS to be able to deploy a team to the place to crash those doing whatever they're doing. So yes, and true, the Galamsey guys control what's and you know, and they bring it in Ghana must go.
Really?
And they go there, Ghana must go. It's not this thing. No, they're not joking.
Wow.
So we need to up our games, and that's why we need the NIMOS itself, you know, to go. You know, there was the story, whether it was factual or not, once upon a time that deployments of the army to Lebanon and Galamsey, they prefer Galamsey to go into Lebanon. It was part of the rumors in the system, and so it tells you how serious those people are. They are not joking, you get it. They are ready to pay.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, you get it.
Wow.
To get into the forest, to get into the water bodies.
Do you think we can ever win the fight against Galamsey?
It's going to be difficult, but we need a concerted effort. The chiefs must be part of it. The local people must be part of it. But unfortunately, Rosalind, the alternative livelihoods we are giving them doesn't commensurate with what they get when they get into the Galamsey. So that is how come the local people are not supporting the efforts of government. The previous, the current government, they are all having the same difficulty. But if the chiefs come on board and the local people also come on board, then we can succeed. There are some chiefs you can't do Galamsey in their area, traditional area. You can't.
Yeah.
You get it. And so because they've decided that is what they are going to do, and they've carried the people along with them, that is the spirit with which we can succeed and win this fight. Otherwise,
leaders, some of the
you can be bringing
leaders.
all the people in there unless, and that is difficult. We resort to the shoot and kill.
But then again, you know, we've used force. Let me go to Solomon with this one. We've used force, but so far it's not yielded results. Is there any other thing that we can do, any alternative aside the force, that because the force is not working, obviously?
So I'm not of the school of thought that it's very difficult to deal with Galamsey. It is the easiest thing to deal with.
Okay.
The people that are doing Galamsey, we know them. They are the politicians, they are the people you call, the so-called people you call influencers in society. That is why it seems that the fight is difficult. We might just get one president who says, it's 4 years that I'm going to do. I care less about your stature in society. I'm going to expose all of you one by one. And it will end. Because you see, Galamsey is not a secret enterprise. If I were to take you to Takwa through Bogoso, Jakpa areas to Dunkwa, you will see them openly doing it on the roadside. And interestingly, most of these places, 100 meters away, you have police barriers. What is the police supposed to do? Are they not supposed to arrest them? It is because politicians, recently we heard that of the MP who is in court when NIMOS confronted them. Collins Dada's name was also mentioned. We have seen a lot of chiefs who have been fingered that they are also involved in Galamsey. But the bottom line rests with the president and the government of the day. Because if you read our constitution, Article 257 is so clear that all minerals are vested in the president on behalf of the people of this country. So me, if a chief is involved in Galamsey, I don't blame that chief. Because no chief has the power to lease a land to anybody that wants to destroy. So if the chief is surviving or thriving in doing Galamsey, it means the president and the government, they are very weak. And they cannot only be weak for weak's sake. Maybe they are also complicit in this whole activity. You remember the Alistair Matthias issue? When we had someone accusing a certain president of shipping $40 million worth of gold from this country every month. So that is where the problem is. We must get people who are credible man in our institutions. There has been a lot of, recently, MCE, that has been accused of engaging in Galamsey. So what is it is that if any president wants to be serious with this and fighting this, if there is any Galamsey activity going on in any locality or vicinity, the police commander there, the NIB person there, the MCE, the immigration, and all those that sit in DISEC all of them must be sacked and prosecuted. And I tell you, if you begin to do this, you don't know what's their use. You are being paid as an MC to represent the president at that locality, to make sure that there is no galamsey. Yet there is galamsey going on. So what's your use as an MC or DC? What's your use as a police commander in the district? What's your use as an immigration commander? What's your use as an NIB rep in that? You sack all of that and you prosecute them on top of that.
Because there's galamsey going on there.
It's because of galamsey going on there. And this is your locality that you must make sure that it is not going, unless they themselves are complicit. Now you move it a notch higher. Then you accuse the regional minister because they are also responsible for these MMDCs. If they are not doing it, the president, you fire them. But if the president also sits down, this is where the state also comes in. The citizens who are the owners of this country begin to question the president. That you brought these people to lead us. Leadership is everything. Are you also involved in the galamsey business, or are you taking a share from the galamsey? Is it the reason why your reps, you can't deal with them? So it is not any difficult thing. Just because those that are doing it are the so-called big men.
That's what the problem is.
That's the problem.
Is it true that, George, it's the big men who are doing it, and that is why the fight is that difficult?
Yeah, there's been that allegation. It's all over, and we are yet to get a single big person being pointed out, and then with evidence that X is involved. We have the evidence. Take him to court. We are going to provide the evidence to get him, properly tried and convicted. We hear it, but nobody is bold enough and has the balls to go forward and name somebody and let's go after the person. You get it? That's it. And again, it's going to be difficult.
There's been a few names that have popped up, but unfortunately,
if it pops up and you don't add evidence to it, it's just the usual propaganda. You get it? We've had people accusing people that he's involved in galamsey. Even ministers have been named, no evidence. Okay? We need to have go beyond just naming the person.
What about
and
the
then
ones
putting
in court?
the evidence.
What about somebody like Chairman Wontumi, whose case is in court?
Akunta Mining was legitimately given a concession. Okay, and so let's see how the trial goes. You get it? But I'm telling you, I heard that the Attorney General was saying they don't have evidence to push that prosecution. You get it? If that is the case, I've heard.
No.
It was a rumor. You heard a rumor, but you didn't hear the Attorney General say it.
No, I didn't hear him. Okay. He's been doing press conferences.
Okay.
It's part of my issue that I'll be raising this morning on the national issue. Look, if it's please permit me.
So from what he's saying, that's why I wanted to clear that. He's saying that he didn't hear the man say, but he heard people say that the man said.
That's
that's why I wanted him to clear.
Evidence is not there for the prosecution of the Akunta so-called galamsey.
So you didn't hear from the Attorney General?
No, but yes, okay. I've heard some of the, things go around. So if it's not right, fine. But then I said, because they need evidence to be able to prosecute the Akunta this because he has concessions, okay? So to be able to decipher that from the galamsey angle is another matter. And a high issue that the Attorney General must have the compelling evidence to be able to adduce in court.
If they didn't have evidence, how is he in court in the first place?
Oh, there are matters of plenty, different, allegation of taking money to, food, planting for food and jobs, not done, roads not done, and those were part of the allegations against him. So wherever you pick, he is in court, okay? And so if this one doesn't go, they go to the next day until all crashes and he walks free. Now let me come to these matters. It's not as simplistic as Solomon wants.
We'll go into our main topic. I just wanted us to...
I'm talking about the galamsey. I'm talking about the galamsey. Yeah, it's not as simplistic as Solomon wants us to believe that if you want to do it, you do it. Look, we listened to the president in his engagement with the state. When that was the media encounter, you remember that. The president wasn't too strong and combative on issues of galamsey. Do you know why? He was being careful, thinking a chicken and egg situation. The people at the local level are getting jobs out of that. That was what the president was saying. You get it? And then you go and you say you're stopping them, and Gold Board is also buying golds from those people. You get it? Because there's been that issue that people accuse Gold Board, you are buying Galamsey and co, and you are saying you are combating them and co. How is the two working? And small-scale mining, small-scale miners cannot absorb themselves up completely from these Galamsey things. Because who do they sell the gold?
The small-scale miners.
Yeah, who do these Galamsey people sell the gold?
But small-scale miners, they are not Galamseyers.
They are not. They are there. Exactly. But when they go, the Galamseyers go to do that. Who do they sell the gold to?
Let's clarify. Galamseyers are not small-scale miners. No. People don't get it confused.
I'm saying, listen to me, please. I've never said that small-scale miners are Galamseyers. I'm saying, no. Then the Galamseyers go to do their Galamsey. Who do they sell their proceeds to? Who? And there's been issues where small-scale miners.
Do you know who they sell it to?
When we banned,
do you know for sure who they sell it to?
When we banned small-scale mining, when we banned it completely, okay, for the 2 years, we saw what happened. And when we lifted the ban and allowed small-scale miners to work, what were some of the challenges that they were encountering? Okay, they go with their machines and co, they close by 5, 7 and go, and other people go to use those machines to work in the night. You get it? And they will say, no, they know nothing about it. Do you believe that? You see, the challenge is very difficult, okay? And we need, that's why I said we need the local people and the chiefs to come fully on board. Otherwise, we resort to the ruthless method. And that may not help all of us. Okay. You get it? And so, I said, we need, and the last one, Rosalind, the last one is about the politicking of it. When we were fighting it, the NDC were there saying, all of us in the NPP were involved in that. All of us, including the president who said he was going to crush these antisocial conduct and acts by people. He said he was involved. His backyard, they were digging gold there.
His backyard where?
In Chebi. In fact, they took media there. Nothing was there. Still people were insisting that the president himself was involved. Okay? So these are the issues to divert attention and then we move on.
All right,
so if the NDC uses it and now they are in power and they seem hopeless in the face of the fight, then who do you blame?
Okay.
I still maintain
1 minute
that Galamsey is the easiest of all the things to deal with. Secondly, by saying that because the people are getting jobs out of it, what you are telling me...
I said, that's what the president
No, let me, you said I should just take, you gave me an advice.
I'm telling you, you are misquoting me. I quoted the president.
If that is your case, that means people that are also robbing, they are making money out of it, so you should allow them to rob. In the case of President Akufo-Addo, Galamsey at his backyard, it didn't come from anybody than Professor Frimpong Boakye. In fact, he captured it in his report. That when you went to Chebi, the deputy youth organizer of the NPP was digging the president's backyard.
Oh, they took media then.
Which media? You took the media to go and show them a different portion and left where they were digging. Where they were digging. You don't want to face the truth.
We saw nothing.
Okay.
You don't want to face the truth.
All right, gentlemen. We hear you.
Noise.
So the fact against Galamsey.
You don't want to face the truth.
He knows he cannot read.
But the party can never
that United Party.
Don't refer to it as that United Party. It is a United Party.
Okay, gentlemen.
What is he talking about?
Gentlemen,
so you belong to my party, right?
Let me come in.
Don't even go there.
Gentlemen, let me come in. Please, as much as we are speaking on issues, let's try as much as possible to stay away from punching some, emotional holes that people will say certain things. Please, we are sticking to our topic. Their party winning power or not winning power, it depends on Ghanaians who go out there to vote. So, gentlemen, so please, whether United Party will come to power one day or not, it takes Ghanaians to go out there to vote and decide whether they'll come or not. So, gentlemen, let's go on with our newspapers. Thank you very much. Parliament passes, Mr. EC, please. Thank you very much. Mr. EC, please, I'm reading the newspapers. Thank you so much. Parliament passes appropriation bill. Government to spend 357.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2026. And My final newspaper is the Chronicle newspaper. The Chronicle newspaper says Engineer Ken Agyapong gains ground in the north. Friends of Rivers, Ghana's mining licenses regime must be reviewed, okay? And Buankra Inland Port to dispute just more construction order to pay 33.3 million US dollars to Ashanti Port Services, and that'll be all for the newspapers. And of course, the Chronicle always carries a Bible verse, so I will read the Bible verse. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 16. And I charge your judges at that time, hear the cases between your brothers and judge righteously. And I charge the judges at that time, hear the cases between your brothers and judge righteously. This morning, we are going to judge righteously. We are going to take a look at the year in review. Under President John Dramani Mahama. He's not a year yet, you know, but, well, he won the election. It's been a year since he won the elections, but not a year since he got sworn in. However, I want to take a look at how he has been so far throughout the year. So I'm starting the conversation with you, Solomon. I want you to assess President John Dramani Mahama, his second coming. What do you think?
Yes, so before I do that, it's very important that we make viewers understand what the work of a president is, so that we are all on the same page. And the work of any president is captured in Article 36. And with your permission, I'll read for the viewers and listeners to understand what any president who is put in position is supposed to do.
Please go ahead.
Article 36 of the Constitution says, the state shall take all necessary action to ensure that the national economy is managed in such a manner as to maximize the rate of economic development and to secure the maximum welfare, freedom, and happiness of every person in Ghana, and to provide adequate means of livelihood and suitable employment and public assistance to the needy. That is the work of every president together with the administration. So the president is to ensure a maximum economic welfare. He must ensure that all of us are happy. He must ensure that the needy gets assistance, and he must ensure that suitable employment is provided. President Mahama took over a terrible economy, in all sincerity. Economy that had an inflation at 23%, had an exchange rate hovering around 50 cedi to the dollar, had the debt to GDP skyrocketed, and so on and so forth. So ordinarily, what his first year was to do was to stabilize the economy. And so far, I dare say that he has done pretty well in that direction. I mean, from 23% inflation, now we are talking about 6.3. How would I come here and say that he hasn't performed in that direction? The exchange rate has been very stable over the years, over the period. Fuel prices have stabilized. The GDP has seen a considerable improvement, as well as our various taxes. Now, beyond that, I believe that it is the time for the president to move into real productivity. You know, during the campaign, he made certain promises. He said he was going to appoint 60 ministers.
Yeah.
As we speak, I think the ministers are now up to 60.
No, they're not.
What it tells me is that all along, this country could have been managed with less ministers than we have experienced in the past. So why have we been encouraging more ministers into assistance? Is it the case that previous presidents, including he himself, John Mahama, were so much under pressure that they couldn't resist the temptation of appointing more just for people to occupy positions? This reduction of ministers brought some respite into the economy. Again, he promised removing certain taxes. Remember the e-levy?
The COVID levy?
COVID levy, emission taxes here and there. I think he succeeded in doing that. He said that he was going to deal with issue of what? Corruption. Remember, one of the key issues that we went into election 2024 with was ORA, Operation Recover All Lose. During his inauguration, he made a statement I mean, he made a couple of statements that he expected Ghanaians to look out to judge his administration. Spoke of economic stability, spoke of employment. None of it received massive applause until he said he would ensure accountability. What it means is that in spite of all this economic stabilization that he has achieved, what the Ghanaian is waiting for and looking up to is to make sure that those that we entrusted the purse of this nation into their hands are dealt with. Not just being incarcerated, but the loot, the levels of loot that went out of this country are brought back for all of it. That is what we are expecting. Some of us in the United Party believes that the loot, we have a lot here. If we are not doing communism, if we are not doing favoritism, it should be the easiest thing to do. So the president has that one to deal with. Now,
let me find out from you. Do you think oral has actually achieved its purpose?
It hasn't so far. So far as I'm concerned, because the campaign, the man that was in the center of attraction, the man that was in the center of all this melee, Ken Agyapong, we are now thinking how to bring him back. How we even managed to allow him to leave the shores of this country on the 2nd of January is something that's mind-boggling. But let me say that this administration, in spite of all the things that they are doing, may not be rated well if issues of corruption with the past administration are not dealt with head-on, are not tackled head-on. Because it cannot be that a finance minister will lead this country to borrow close to 13.5 billion from the international market. And we have nothing to show for it. Let the person come and explain what he did with the borrowed funds. He tells us that he's sick. He has been sick since January. We have been promised a number of times that he was going to come to this country. He has never come. And it was only last week or so that we are told by the Attorney General that we filed processes to bring him back.
Well, it's because the Attorney General has finally taken over.
But the point is that it's been too long. By now, you know, he would have pushed the money, distributed the money into areas that it will even be difficult to get. But we must still pursue the man with all the aggression. Beyond that, there has been a lot of corruption allegations. The last time the president inaugurated a team that said that by the middle of December 2025, there has to be a forensic report on the 13th All Africa Games. Today is what? The 21st of December. I'm yet to hear anything from the presidency as to whether, where or not.
22nd.
Today is 22nd, right? So we have gone beyond the second week of December. But that was the promise. If there are technical hitches, they must be first. Because it cannot be that this country would have spent $50 million. A minister will look straight into. Mostly, you and I are facing and say they use $50 million to cook wache and ampesi in this country during all Africa Games. That tax, common tax, that journalists use, we have spent close to $4 million and we will not go into it. That the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, that was about 80% complete, we are told that we expended $36 million, whereas TMA in Takwa, Goldfish constructed a stadium, a newly built stadium from scratch at a cost of $30 million. It cannot be that the new Olympics, so-called Olympics, haven't been there before. That matches don't go near any standardized Olympic stadium. We expended $145 million. And we say that we should look unconcerned. We still have the National Cathedral to deal with. The hole is still there. What are we doing with it?
So you are saying President John Dramani Mahama's fight against corruption is not there yet?
No, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. He has to up the game. It is the reason that all the beautiful things he's doing in terms of stabilizing the economy, in terms of restoring hope. And for the first time in our history, we have a Supreme Court giving a ruling in the case of the Kandai, where all the sides are happy, are praising judges. You haven't heard it, Feli?
I heard it.
That for the first time in our history, that both the opposition that went to court were openly praising judges for a wonderful work. The plaintiff is also praising the judges. It tells you that something is happening. But all these things will amount to naught if we do not deal constructively and decisively with those that we know, because you mind in this country, we all live as one people.
Were you expecting prosecution, at least one person to have been prosecuted by now?
Oh, by now, it should have been fast-tracked. You see, and here again, I was very surprised my brother was going in the direction of wanting. We don't want to discuss the merits of the case, but the truth of the matter is that during their tenure, we had the minister responsible for lands and natural resources, Owusu himself, issue a statement that Akonta Mining had no business entering the Tanonimere forest. Well, you know, in this country, which position was corroborated by the Minerals Commission. So why is someone rewriting history here? We will not allow anybody to throw dust into our eyes. We are so clear. If we believe that we are patriots, we are Ghanaians that wishes this country well, we must not be doing politics with anything.
Okay, thank you very much. George, several major bills like the Bank of Ghana financing limits and also the mining ban in forest reserves were passed recently. What do you think about it?
Good. We're building a nation, and in the process of building a nation, we should be seen to be taking the right steps that will help develop our nation and bring comfort to our people. That is the basic reasons why we elect presidents and governments to take over the reins of administration, so that improve our situations and better the laws of the people. And so that's the primary reason why President Mahama was elected to take over from the NPP administration, and for that matter, the NDC administration taking over. And so nobody expects anything less from the president. It is trite knowledge that this president has got a lot of massive goodwill at the beginning of the year. Since he took over office, he had the goodwill because perceptively, rightly or wrong, people felt things were difficult in the latter years of our administration between 2022 and 2024. Nobody's going to run away from that. There were difficult challenges and co. Some of us were cautiously optimistic we were going to retain power, but we saw that it was going to be very difficult because of the circumstances that were existing at the time. Difficult situation, doing business, livelihood itself, and all that. We saw them. But we had taken steps, of course, with the engagement of the IMF and co, and meeting the benchmarks and agreements that we needed to meet and co. And you see, that accounted for some of the reasons that things were difficult, especially the forex market. At that time, as time to be corrected, we couldn't expend more than or pump more than $80 million a month into the economy to support the CD, okay, because of the IMF rules and engagements. Now the government is free to pump as much as $1 billion, dollars every month. In the last 1 year, they've pumped about $10 billion to shore up the CD.
You said something, I just want us to go back to it. You said things were difficult. Some of your people have said that the DDEP was a big mistake by the NPP government.
I don't think it was a mistake. I had the privilege of being at almost every meeting that the Ministry of Finance engaged us to explain the basis and what led us into that point. You saw that we didn't have access to the international capital market again, and our ratings were junk, God will point. And so as a government, we needed to do something to ensure that our economy does not collapse. You need to do something to ensure that the economy is rejuvenated.
But was there no other alternative?
Well, that was the better alternative at a bigger price. You get it? If we had not done that, the Ghanaian economy would have grounded from some of the information that we had at the time.
Honorable Kojo, actually, we had a conversation, and he will disagree with you. He said there were other things that could have been done, or better way that could have been done.
Well, at that point, we didn't get that because we had technical people from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, including the current government statistician, very brilliant news guy. When he's delivering, you saw that he knew what he was talking about. You get it? And so I was surprised when he was named government statistician under President John Dramani Mahama. I congratulate him. I always forget his name. Yes, the brilliant guy. You know, they all come to explain the nuances of what the situation was. And you saw that it was a difficult situation. Okay, we had to take the step to ensure that people's investments are not wiped out completely. You get it? You can imagine your investment in bonds and others just going and not a penny given to you for whatever. So this was the alternative that we had to do to ensure that people's investments are protected, even albeit at a lesser rate than what it was. So DDEP was a very difficult decision by the then government, okay? And from the briefings we had, that was the situation. But we needed, it was a necessary evil to ensure that the Ghanaian economy does not collapse completely. And it was part of the conditions that allowed us to proceed in our engagement with the IMF at that time, because that was a precondition. You get it? And so you needed to do some of those things to ensure that, yes, your books look good, and then they can engage you properly. Otherwise, there wouldn't be that engagement.
But do you think that cost you your seats?
Oh, it's part. It's part. Look, Rosalind, anytime I saw the former Chief Justice appointed by our government picketing at the Ministry of Finance, I cringed. I knew the consequences of that, the message it was sending out to the Ghanaian people. Okay, it was a very serious message. Okay, the NDC didn't need to do much campaign. Anytime Justice Sophia Kufu sat at the Ministry of Finance, solid wrong message for us as a party, because that was our Chief Justice. Okay, and she disagrees with our decision.
That was Ghana's Chief Justice.
Yes, appointed by us. You get it? Yes. I'm also a Ghanaian. You get it? Okay. So anytime I saw her, in fact, I get sleepless nights. You get it? Because I know the message that is sending across to the ordinary person. You get it? And so it tells you something wasn't right. Okay? Whether she was right or not. And she was fighting for some people, a section of the people. And the message, Rosalind, was that when they sit there and they are talking about, you know, drugs, BP, diabetics, drugs, they cannot buy and go, it was a core message. You get it? That was being sent out there. Now, let me come to some small thing before you take. The government's, the optics look good, to be honest with you. Injection of over 10 billion to stabilize the forex market is good. Even though we know the medium to long-term effect will be dire. Because I remember Mr. Dr. Addison saying, if I want to bring the dollar down to 9 cedis before election, I can do it. But the ramifications were going to be dire. You get it? So it is proper for us to let the economic management systems propel the, CD itself. You get it? Don't inject it and let it get artificial values. You get it? So by the time we were leaving, it was 14.7. You get it? Today, it's about 12, 11.9, 12. That's good. You get for the business people, for importers and others. Exporters, I don't know whether it's good for them. For importers and others. So these are issues. But then we've taken e-levy, good news, right? What about is it the energy levy or energy tax, 1 cedi?
The 1 cedi.
Yes, you get it. So what is it now? We just passed the sports levy. We've taken betting tax out. Now there's a sports levy. Okay? Are we going or are we coming? You get it? So these things, and because I'm not against it, and because these are the real hard decisions that President Mahama must take for us to go forward, especially in the energy sector. You get it? And revenue mobilization. I heard my brother, Honorable Abuja, the Minister for Roads and Highways, saying they've awarded about $5 billion road contracts without borrowing a penny. I disagree. They've awarded it. But recently, you saw the headline, 71 billion debts increasing in our debt profile. You get it? Fortunately, our debt is down because of the Forex, issue. Most times, in fact, in 1 month when we're in power, about $100 million rise in our debt within a month because of the Forex. You get it? And so when the Forex is down, now definitely it's going to bring it down. It doesn't mean we are not borrowing. We are borrowing. But what are we using it for? Are we putting it in the strategic areas for development? I'm happy with this government's big push. I wouldn't sit here and say it's a fantastic thing.
Right.
You get it? About $10 billion committed to that. When the budget was read, especially the 2026 budget, 2025, good things in, but a lot of things, were not, appropriation were not actually released and cool. 2026, the appropriation, as you said, about 327 or 337 billion there. Big push, $10 billion. And the roads so far earmarked for constructions is encouraging. And I pray they will release this, will go, and then because this will really fuel the economy and make it fluid, and we need that to be able to advance. And then in a town where you get good roads, the town begins to grow properly, right?
You think we have the good roads? We are getting the good roads?
No, the big push is roads. You get it?
I know, but so far, because if there's some places I'm seeing a lot of major roads.
Fantastic.
Yes.
The $5 billion, if those places get these routes, you get it. It's good news for the people in those enclaves, and it's going to boost economic activities and then make the Ghanaian economy fluid. As we speak, they are not paying the contractors the arrears because it's part of the reason the system is a bit slow. You get it? Contractors, when you pay them, the consequential, yes,
okay,
for everybody.
Solomon, I want to ask you more about economics. Yeah. Okay, so talk about economic pressures, such as the public sector reforms or the foreign exchange issues reflected in Parliament's agenda and all of that. Do you think these are shaping Ghanaians' views of political leadership?
It is. I mean, I have said time without number that Ghanaians are becoming more wiser by the day. They are becoming more interested in our political discourse by the day. It is the reason why whatever happens in Parliament, people take a serious view of it. Our parliamentarians must know that we are not still in the 90s where a lot of the activities were not even shown to the public. They must know that where we find ourselves, the people are expecting much from them. So they have to do more. If they were taking it to be business as usual, that is not where we are. You have a country where the last time we opened portals for recruitment into the security services, 60,000 people, we are told, applied to be in the army. Rosalind, I've seen those that applied. I can tell you that more than 50% of them, it's not that they like or they want to be in the army.
They just need a job.
They just need a job. And that is where the issue is.
Maybe more than 50.
I'm just being conservative, you understand?
That's good.
So if you have a country where, first of all, your population is very youthful, we have between 18 to 45 constitute about 70% of our population, and they see recruitment into the army as a means of employment, then you cannot be sitting in Parliament and be playing with us. It's a serious matter. It is Parliament that we make laws, we pass budget. What scrutiny do we put to these budgets to ensure or to see that indeed these budgets will be able to orchestrate the kind of employment that we need in the system? That is what the kind of optics that the Ghanaian must be made to see. So right now, people are very much aware of what is happening and they must up their game. But in doing so, I have had a problem with our political system. Rosalind, how do we get people to Parliament? It's a major issue. You join a political party, there is actually no vetting from the larger population. It's a group of people within the political space, they vet Rosalind and say, oh, maybe those that are sitting on the vetting committee are even your cronies. So Rosalind go through. Now you have people who are into galamsey, financing them, whether the person is good or not, they give the person money, and you know the poverty levels in our country. The person goes to the grounds, dishes out money, and the next moment is in Parliament. Remember the Constitution says the president is supposed to take majority of his ministers from Parliament. So the probability that incompetent person who has found his way to parliament will also end up as a minister is very high.
So who should vet who?
So the system that we, as a country, if we are developing our democracy, we must be able to have independent minds also helping in vetting candidates at the...
for the contest.
Absolutely.
For the seat. Okay.
Because either than that, then you are only presenting to us people who are half-baked. So when they get to parliament, all that they see is that we should fight. When we are told that we should fight, and again, there is some levels of culture. There's a culture creeping into our political space that we are preparing to even go to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation. When someone comes to your constituency and campaign to you that I want to be the member of parliament, you vote for the person, expecting the person to carry your views to parliament so that it is considered in shaping our legislative discourse. Now the person goes to parliament and we are told that there is a political party that whips the person in line so that whether or not the decision that the parliamentarian is taking is in the interest of the constituents does not matter. What matters to that parliamentarian is what his party or her party is telling him or her to do. So where lies my power as a constituent or as a voter? We want to go to the Supreme Court and then seek an interpretation to that. Whether the party's views supersedes that of the interests of the constituents. It is only that we can begin to have parliamentarians do what we call real job. Because I can tell you that there are a number of votes or voting parties in parliament that members that are made to vote in a particular party do not believe in what they're voting. For fear of being victimized, for fear of being taken out of parliament, they decide to go mostly with the party lines, which may not be in the interest of the nation.
What do you think about the 9th Parliament?
It's been worse parliament. It's been worse parliament. And I blame Speaker Babin for that. You remember in January, 31st of January 2025, this was a parliamentarians that told their wives and children that they were going to parliament to do parliamentary business. They only went there to destroy chairs, tables, and microphones. You saw that incident. After that, you know what happened? You go to Kumasi, Kumasi Anglican Secondary School, and then KTI. Sporting activity, they also begin to behave rowdy because they are learning from parliamentarians. Go to Salaga. Students fighting among themselves. What have they been shown on television by people that ought to know, people that are supposed to be a shining example in society? They are fighting there. You understand? So it has not been good. Again, the quality of debate is not coming out clearly. Everything, we trivialize it. But we are not in a good shape. The position that we find ourselves as a country is not the best of shape. So I believe that going forward, they have 3 years more to go. They must engineer or engender some levels of confidence in the Ghanaian that we are there to do the work of the nation. What we have been shown is not the best of any parliamentary business.
Okay, let me come to you, George. For us, healthcare is very major, and so the workforce challenges that is actually happening in our healthcare system. What do you have to say about it?
Specific to which pointers are you?
Our healthcare system.
General.
General.
Oh, okay.
General.
But before I touch on that, let me touch on the parliamentary issue. One side of the House has the absolute majority. They call themselves a supermajority. And they are clothed with the powers. That's the decision of the Ghanaian people, that they are electing them and giving the president the absolute mandate to implement his vision and policy decisions. So that is it. And then there's the micro minority, so-called, but we call ourselves the mighty minority, and led by Osahi. And I think they are being phenomenal. They are doing a lot of good jobs, keeping the majority on their toes, and then engendering very solid debates that will inure in the interest of the people. And the second one is about the whip system. In any parliamentary democracy, is part of it. And you see, Rosalie, we had independent candidates in I think, over 60 constituencies in the election when we were going to vote. Ghanaians decided they were going to consider only one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. jobs. They considered for independent. Oh, yes. A plus and co. Yes. Considered
I think A
only
plus
for.
This man.
Yes. The Asante Achimsa.
Yes.
Farm place. Good. Okay, thank you for the correction. Considered only 4. Okay, and voted for the rest on a party ticket. What it tells you is that the constituents align with that decision that the party must whip their people in the system.
I disagree.
That is what they have. That's the decision of the people. Okay, that the party will have a say in whatever engagement or discourse that is carried out in the House. No, the people, there was somebody who was independent. Then there were others who were on the ticket of political parties. And the people opted for those on the political parties.
I understand.
It doesn't take away the fact that they ought to engage their constituents. They do. You get it?
Isn't this
they
the
do.
reason? Wait, so
but there are certain decisions.
Isn't this the reason? Isn't this the reason why we are where we are as a country? Because yes, the party has to whip the party has to whip their people.
Yes.
However, it looks like we are a bit stagnant in growth in constituencies because we keep on having this, and it's been a pattern.
I agree.
Has it helped us in any way?
I disagree that the stagnation in growth and constituencies are getting development, albeit slowly. You get it. There are places that are getting developments by the influence of some of the members of parliament. It could be better. It could be better. One of my places in the eastern region, the Okre constituency, massive development by Damboche. Okay, it's gone.
What are some of the things he's done there?
Major, almost every road within the constituency is black. Okay, that is what I mean. You get it? So it's important. No, road is, and to the point that adjoining constituents are angry with their MPs.
Because of the influence that he held in this administration.
No, I'm coming. In politics, influence is very important. If you are, why? If you go to be a member of parliament and you think you cannot influence decisions, you should be. Because we have 276 constituencies, all needing the national cake. So what makes the decision that it goes to A and not B at this time T? Those are part. Yes. So, and then influence is also part. Because if you're an MP and you say you cannot influence decisions, then we don't even know why you were there. You get it? So that is important. But the process is maybe slow, but gradually we go in. You get it? And we need that. Health issues that you are talking about, we can improve upon it. I saw the Mahama Care issue. I think, I'm yet to get into the details, but I think it's a good thing. What is going to improve on the health situation of the people, especially as far as cost is concerned? You get it? That is very important and we need to look at. And disbursement to health insurance is something that we need to look at. And I think they are being a bit meticulous from the beginning. These days, any money you request, whatever you send, they go through thoroughly before they disburse and go. And I think that is important so that we will not, misapply our resources, especially in the health sector. That is good. I know that the Minister for Health is making strides to ensure that they build residential accommodation for nurses and doctors in some major teaching hospitals, and I commend Honorable Akando and his team for that. We need to encourage that. If nurses have places to live in, and doctors have places. Recently there were this brouhaha that doctors are refusing postings to the Upper East. Is it Upper East or Upper West? Yes, generally. And the numbers were not easy. I've had the opportunity to work in a rural Ghana before, and I got sick, okay? Moving from my village in Akontombra village, Menukrum, to Sehurioso, which is the district capital. It took almost, then you have to be in Akontombra, sleep at dawn and come, and health situation, you get it. And I got to the hospital, fortunately, there were doctors and I got treatment. Imagine going to such a typical area and there's no doctor there. There's no doctor and then no treatment. What happens? You're likely to die. You get it? So, and die of a disease that can easily be treated. Okay? So these are issues that we will plead with the medical doctors and co. We know that, you see, you swear to protect lives. Wherever the life is, at least go for 2 years. You get it? I remember when we were in power, I went, family pressures, somebody posted to a place to teach. And I went to, is it the minister or a deputy, one of the big guys? They looked me in the eye and said, George, are you the one asking for this? I say, pressure. I say, look, let your nephew or whoever go and do 2 years and come.
An experience.
You yourself went in there to do it. So
how conducive is
so I had
place?
to go and convince
so as much
the people.
As we are convincing
so that's why I'm commending the infrastructure, development.
Okay.
You know, this government promised teachers to get accommodation and go. I pray they commit to that.
Okay.
I pray they commit to that. It's early days yet. You get it. The first year. Let's see. They have the goodwill. The goodwill is gradually waning. But I pray and entreat President Mahama not to let the goodwill wane, because if you have the goodwill, it encourages you, to give off your best for the people.
Okay. All right, I'll take a few messages and then we continue with our conversations. If you haven't sent your messages, yes, you can still send it to us on 055-1575-757, 055-1575-757.
I still have a problem with UP, United Party. My brother Bokman is hitting me.
What is it? Okay, so messages have come in. Wow, I do have a lot of messages. All right, I'll start with this one. Ibrahim Boulay, Lakeside Estate Community 8. Good morning, Rosie. The first 1 year of President Mahama and NDC has been successful. He was able to fulfill his key promises he made during his campaign in 2024 election, such as e-levy, betting tax, emission tax, COVID-19 tax has been scrapped, and also dollar and cedi ratio stabilized. Inflation down from 27% to 6%. No more dooms of war prices reduced. So far, so good. Okay. Ali Abbas from Kokrobite. Okay, so Ali Abbas from Kokrobite says, so far so good. John Mahama's performance is excellent, but the only problem with him is to fix the galamsey, and after fixing it, his name will never be forgotten in the history of Ghana. All right, thank you so much for sending that. Musa Abatwa says that, good morning, Rosalind. I totally agree with Solomon Owusu. It's very refreshing to hear of the Attorney General's swift action to expedite the Ken Oforiatta extradition process. The earlier delay by the OSP was unfortunate. Bringing him back to account for his stewardship is essential to strengthening transparency, accountability, and our democratic society. My regards to Chief of Staff Julius Debra. All right, I hope he's watching. Hadi Impik Farm says that, good morning, my beautiful sister. In fact, sometimes if you listen to the level of corruption and stealing that took place under the watch of Nanado and his vice president, Dr. Baumia, one will just know Mother Ghana was a crime scene under the leadership of Nanado and his vice, Dr. Baumia. They just came to create, loot, and share. Thank God Mother Ghana is working again under the leadership of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and his humble vice. The NPP should not get near the presidency again. Please, good morning. The year has been very good, but I wish you could use your platform to ask the National Service Authority to pay we the 2024 batch of College of Education graduates who are currently doing our service. For close to 3 months, we have not been paid. This is not good. Please pay them. They are working. Please pay them. Thank you very much. If they haven't been paid, please pay them. Akonsi Gariba from Tamale. Good morning, Rosalind and my George Aisi. The 1 year of President Mahama in office has been propaganda and broken promises. Unfortunately, President Mahama's government is hiding their inefficiency in the absence of Mr. Ken Oforiatta to occupy the airwaves almost every single day in Ghana. I pray the day that Ken Oforiatta will return to Ghana, President Mahama's abysmal performance would be exposed. As for Mr. Solomon Owusu and his friends, they succeeded in destroying the political career of Mr. Alan Chemating forever. And the better he knows it, the earlier it will be. It will humble him to tone down a bit towards the NPP party. My regards to every Ghanaian for better future to all next year. So now who is inviting who?
I'm inviting him. But he's a good man. He himself admitted that the UP is the mother party. Yes. And there is a mother party. What are you doing? There's a universal set and there's a subset. Yes. The universal set is the UP. Okay. And the NPP is a subset.
The antecedent.
Mesha Constantina, Masterman, if I may ask, in T Openi Biara. Okay, no, I'm not going to do this. Kwamena acidity. All right, sometimes you are clicking on it and then it goes somewhere. They call it technology. It's normal. Kwamena acidity says that millions of Ghanaians will enjoy this Christmas all because prices of goods have reduced drastically under current NDC government. Merry Christmas to our half original minister, Honorable Charity Gardner, and Honorable Ishak Dauda of Prestia Sankofa. Okay, Hassan Hamza Pig Farm. Good morning, Roslyn. Almost 1 year into this country, I can say without fear or favor, or fear and fever. Okay, so far so excellent. So promises were made to cancel some taxes and they were all done. Example, emission tax, e-levy, COVID, betting tax, and all these cancellations goes to put monies into the Ghanaian pocket. The economy is stable, exchange rate is stable, and I'm particularly happy to see that. The LI 2462 has been revoked, and this goes to prevent galamseyers to operate in our river bodies and forest reserves. No, well, it has been. Well, once it's been passed in Parliament. No, but you see, no, you see, that becomes a criminality because once it's been revoked in Parliament, once you go in there, they can arrest you. But when it wasn't revoked, it was difficult for them to arrest.
But why did you even introduce that law in the first place? Why did you introduce it? What came over you? What exceptions?
No.
So you must be the last person to be talking about people entering into forest because you had allowed that. Yes. You had allowed people to mine in the forest. So you that allow people to mine in the forest must be the last person to be talking about seed excavator because that was your wish.
What in the water body?
You allow them to go.
This law has been repealed and that is happening. That's my worry.
So you must go for them and then arrest them.
That's my worry.
Now it's a criminality.
It's always been a criminal.
No. You were part of the LI 2462.
It's the exception. It's not carte blanche. It's not carte. Forest reserves. That law
which of the
government to give
that law allowed President Kufuor to give all the forest.
You can't go in.
Okay, I'll read more messages. I think I'll continue. He says that I am not also happy because prosecution of alleged looters of our resources are not being done the way I expected it to go. I'm also happy to see that peace is gradually returning to Boko, but the president must wake up and take actions against some of his appointees. A lot of them have become power drunk. They have no respect for the grassroots. Okay. President Mahama, that one is between you and the party. Good morning, Princess. Is it not Akufo-Addo who signed the law that people can mine in forest reserves? A president who says, I won't develop your community because you didn't vote for me. I want to say that the money for development is not in his pocket. It's not his pocket money. It's our tax money. What kind of a president will say this? Where is the cathedral? I'm surprised the NPP has no shame. They should keep quiet. They are dreaming to come back in 2028. They made us poorer to enrich their pockets. Okay, I don't know. You didn't send your name, so I don't know the name to use with this one. Okay, let me see. Okay. Good morning, Joy Prime. I want Solomon to know Ken Ofori-Atta never stole any money from the state. Solomon should know that Ken Ofori was the finance minister and borrowed the money. So if he wants to know where Ken Ofori-Atta put the money, he should go to Atoforsin and he will know it's a political motivated to humiliate Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken Ofori-Atta should never come today and tomorrow. There is no money in system and farmers are suffering. Joseph from Lambusi. Okay, Joseph. Why you laughing, Solomon? Master Planner Junior, political analyst or policy analyst in Kintopo. My good brother, Solomon Owusu, Happy New Year in advance. Please, next year, no propaganda. The economy under President Mahama is just rhetoric. They are trying to make the books look good, but the ordinary Ghanaian's pocket is very poor and bad. You have increased the payment of presidential staffers by 67%, but increased government workers' salary by a poorly 9%. Teachers and nurses trainees will not be employed in 2026. Where is 133? Ghanaians are watching closely. Greetings to Dr. Opoku Ajima, NPP financier. Okay.
Yes. He says he's going to contest for the position of NPP communications officer, calling himself a policy analyst. These are dishonest people who do not want to come out boldly.
Why?
I know you very well.
He's not a policy analyst.
How did he become a policy analyst overnight?
How?
Which of the policies?
Wow.
Anyway, good morning, Joy Prime. And Napo should not talk about rewriting of history on the changing names of universities. How many universities did he build as education minister then? He should leave KNUST alone. Good morning to you, Madam Roslyn, and to your guests, more especially to our Honorable MP lawyer, Jofa. Madam, the year was so stressful and difficult, one for some of us who are still unemployed, but we are sure that next year will be a better year for all of us. Indeed, the year was a year for research and bringing back the confidence that Ghanaians used to have for our nation, and we can actually see that the government is doing everything to make sure that Ghanaians get better lives through the social interventions, bringing back the economy to its toes, etc. Madam, my regards to the most humble and hardworking MP for Mion. Okay. Good morning, Ajia Roslyn. This is Abdul Ganu Makarigo from Savannah region. A few weeks ago, Arthur Forson appeared on Joy News saying that they were auditing the IPCs of road contractors because he smelled a rat. Suddenly, he has gone quiet. No update, just allegations and propaganda. The Upper East region has been completely ignored, a region where Mahama's opponents had no significant numbers but has been sidelined. The people there must wake up. President Mahama has never been serious, and he will not be different even the next 3 years. I think this is a bit harsh if you say that he's not been serious. I think you could have used a better word. And I didn't see it earlier. I wouldn't have even read it. Anyway, I will go to this one. I expect that when you send in your messages, please let's stay as respectful as possible. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. This current administration should invest in vocational training to boost employability, prioritize infrastructure development, modernize agriculture through agribusiness and climate resilient practices, strengthen governance and anti-corruption measures, and diversify exports into manufacturing, tourism, and services. Implementing these measures can drive sustainable growth and development. Aaron Bebako Komisa. I agree with Aaron 1,001%. This is very, very good. Let me read NAP's own and then we can continue. NAP says, good morning, Roslyn. The NDC always talk about reduction of prices of goods in markets. I wonder which market they are talking about. They should direct us to those markets and stop their propaganda. Anyway, greetings to Ajin Kese John Boydua, incoming national chairman of NPP, and Naikwa Mwabuating. Nana, thank you so much for sending your message. All right, so Solomon, let's talk about, trade a little bit. We need to get some revenue into the country so far if we want to stay this way, because as it stands now, every first year of every government, they do well. Yes. Very, very well. Yes. Although this has been, more significant as compared to the others. Yeah. Now, when we talk about trade, what can be done through trade to be able to generate enough revenue for the country so that we can keep going the way we're going?
So the emphasis must move from imports to local production. Now the various indicators are stabilized. You have your inflation down, you have your exchange rate stable, you have all other major economic indicators very stable. So what you do is that you invest in the local economies. And that is why when President Mahama came, the United Party led by Mr. Lanchibati went to him, and we did not ask for any position or ask for anything, but rather presented to him the Great Transformation Plan. In the Great Transformation Plan, we had enumerated 10 strategic anchor industries that we believe that we must invest in. Because if you look at our import bills, Ghana as a country imports a lot of vehicles and its parts. It's taking a lot of our forests out. And it's the reason why Mr. Alan Chamante single-handedly wrote the automotive development policy, which enabled the assembly of vehicles in this country. The idea, that was for the short term. The medium to long term was for the actual production to take place in this country, including production of parts. I believe that this government must take up that mantle, because we have the Swami magazine, we have the Owusu kinds, we have young guys who could be used for that purpose. Fortunately, we have also established what we call the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation. The idea is to be processing our raw materials, that is the manganese, bauxite, iron, including the lithium, into a semi-finished product, which will aid in your industrialization. We import a lot of food, and I was very happy with the I've said that it's a master stroke. But that policy will fail if this administration will continue to encourage politicians and party financiers to continue to import akukofunu into this country. This akukofunu business is not helping us.
So do you think it should be banned?
No, I mean, it has to be a gradual process. You have just started. Once you see production peaking, you know, recently we have been told of food glut everywhere. It's not that there is no demand. There is actually a huge demand. What is happening is that local production has picked up, and it is competing with imported goods. Now, when you have a situation of local production and imported goods, because of their factors of production have low cost, theirs will look cheaper than ours. So we will be priced out. That's why you see a lot of local foods have not been bought. Not that people do. So once the Nkukong Kitinkiti is picking up, there has to be a legislation. And you can only do so when you go after the party financiers and the politicians that hold or wield that influence. They will always want the cheaper way out. Because the success of the Nkukong Kitinkiti will deal with your huge unemployment. You look at the supply chain, it will be catered for. We have a huge potential in the pharmaceutical industry. We are importing close to $600 million worth of pharmaceuticals into this country. Yet you have your Tobinkos, you have the NS Chemists, you have all these companies here. I believe that the president in the second year must redirect the focus and then have ways. We cannot be dealing with our interest rate. This is too high. It doesn't make sense. That we are in the 21st century, in 2025, 2026, we will still go to the banks and borrow beyond 20%. That is mind-boggling. No serious economy thrives under such a hefty interest rate regime. So government must set up a fund directing it at local businesses to improve upon their pharmaceutical business. That would also, as it were, improve our employment situation. And you go to ahead, the Minister of Finance, also a brilliant idea, the palm oil development. The minister must not shy away from it, he must pursue it. Because Malaysia came to this country and picked the palm fruit to go and plant in their country. As we speak, Malaysia is making close to $20 billion from palm and its associated products annually. We have been relying on cocoa all these years. We never get more than $2 billion from cocoa annually. So the finance minister must go back. And all these things that we are saying, it's not theory.
It's practical.
It's practical. In 2007, Alan started something in that direction. If they don't have the knowledge about it, they should just go and see him. Report the Israeli technology.
But you said you went to see President Mahama.
We gave it to them. Maybe they do not understand what is on the paper. Fortunately, we are alive. We believe that you don't have to wait for your turn to be president before you help the existing president. It is Ghana we are building.
So why didn't you help the NPP president?
These people would then listen. When the 1D1 of the Alan introduced into the manifesto, Alan wrote the NPP's trade manifesto. He introduced the idea of one district, one factory. When they came to power, hatred, they decided to give the 1D1 the less than 400 million Ghana cedis and gave a bogus program called NAPCO. So bogus, 2.2 billion. That they should be sharing it to graduates that have paid hostel fees in excess of 5,000 every academic semester to go and share 700 cedis every month. So we had all the ideas. But if the president of the day was not mindful, if he hated you, he didn't want you as he didn't see it as a national program, but saw it as bettering your political future, then that was his own problem. But we have given it to President Mahama. We believe that if he's going to implement it, we are still around. Anything he does not understand, he must consult, and we will give it to him. It is our duty as Ghanaians to help President Mahama to succeed.
Do you think President Mahama should give your leader an appointment to be able to do that?
No, we don't need appointment. I mean, we have said it time without number. I see a lot of propaganda that goes on. Recently, Mr. Alan Chimante organized the Africa Summit. You see, Alan believes that the success of Ghana depends on the unity of Africa. You have a continent with a population of 1.2 billion. All the things that we are discussing here, that we don't have demand. Go to Sudan, they need food. Go to Nigeria, they need food. Go to Sierra Leone, they need food. 1.2 billion. We are not succeeding because the African integration is not working. It is the reason why he led recently, just last week, the Africa Summit. Now we want to move, Africa wants to move from just mere rhetoric, no action, talk only, to implementation. Action. And that is what he's leading. It's not about position. At his age, what sort of position else? He has seen it all. He has worked with the UN, he has worked with the AU, he has worked at all, he has been a minister. The only thing probably that is left is for him to be the president of the land, to steer the affairs of this country, to make sure that we eschew.
And you think it will happen? Do you think it will happen?
Even on his sick bed, he will be forced to contest on the ticket of the United Party in 2028. Because this country needs him. I'm telling you, it must be a communal labor for every Ghanaian. You are going to be treated to candidates in 2028, and it will be the highest form of injustice should Alan be on the ticket with the rest of the candidates and Ghanaians will do otherwise. That would be the greatest disservice that this country would have perpetuated to the people of this country and the unborn generation. So he's going to come, and all these lofty ideas will be implemented and implemented well.
All right, thank you very much. Now, the 24-hour economy was actually one of the biggest push during the 2024 elections. Currently, do you think that they are achieving its purpose?
Yeah, thank you. I don't think so, especially with the budget allocation. I stand to be corrected. I have 110 million. I don't think, maybe they want to do the initial things, but it's woefully inadequate, especially that being the major policy of the government in coming to power. With a cliche 133, job creation, and the youth bought seriously into it. And so it will be a very big anathema to the Ghanaian people if President John Mahama doesn't implement successfully the 24-hour economy, because that is their flagship program coming into power. But before I delve deeper into that, let me respond with 1 minute and to my brother Solomon. That Ken Agyapong guy is actually got a master's in public administration. So policy issues is what he's been trained in. And he says this man doesn't know. So please, he sent it here, I can give it to you.
Oh, so you called him to say, let me see what he says.
No, but the thing is that we can't even discredit somebody because we don't know what the person has.
I know.
You know the schools he's attended, you know his certificates he has. You don't.
So don't worry, I just...
No, but you are giving the false information here. Let's go into it. Let's discuss it.
We can't discredit his information. But he has sent it. So how is it?
How do I know? There are a lot of people you are upset.
I think we are just discrediting the young man for no reason.
Public administration, what is it?
He's a policy analyst, and he says he's a policy analyst.
In public administration, you do policy
you can't discredit a person like that.
They don't do that.
Please, thank you so much.
I disagree with what he has brought here. That it does not amount to anything. Look, I will not sit here for him to just be showing me any picture and think that I will take it.
It's okay. If you won't take it,
it's okay.
He has a certificate.
Now let me come to the matter. Look, Alan Chimante is one of the politicians I admire and respect so much. It is true that he has a role in this 1D1F, and then the vehicle assemblage plants and co. And President Akufo-Addo gave him the chance to do those things, okay? To do those things. Even though the 1D1F was situated at the secretariat directly under the presidency.
Because of hatred.
Because of hatred. Disagree. This is a cabinet minister.
It's a hatred.
Listen, a cabinet minister couldn't defend his policies at cabinet.
Can you imagine?
His own baby. And one of them I give him credit for that thing. I've forgotten the name, the African Trade Summit.
African Continental.
Yes, after.
That is baby.
You get it. Allowed him.
How did he allow
those things under his government?
Oh, yeah.
This is a cabinet minister. Look at this document. This is fantastic. They gave me what? They didn't give me.
I gave you a copy. You read it.
Yeah,
you were so impressed. You wanted to join the party.
I said, give me one.
One day he would join the party.
So this one, you just submit it. When you were at cabinet to make your case, you said nobody gave you a chance.
But you submitted, nobody.
Now you submitted, you are not there. How do you push this? And you are even alluding to the possibility that they don't even understand what you have presented. Okay? Have they called you to come and make a case? There's a bet in the general trade melee. It's important that our youth need jobs. And the 24-hour economy, the 133 that they sold to Ghanaians, must be seen to be coming on board. Guzitan, a fantastic business mind, okay? He is at the presidency in charge of this, and he's got a technical team. 1 year is gone. You get it. What is happening? But in the true sense, it will be in March or thereabout that you get 1 year in that secretariat. So we wish them well, truly, okay? Import substitution, what are we doing about that? Is the one officially, I don't know, but I understand officially this government has
they have cancelled it.
Yes,
officially. It's a bad
officially. It's not right. You get it. Yes, it's not right because at least there are some there. How do we nurture and support them to be stronger? You get it. That is, they actually accepted the free SH and they are working on it. They should have adopted this one. It was a good thing, even though there were challenges. Gradually, if we continue to build and support them, it will stand. And it's targeted at.
It started very well.
What you know what is happening?
1D1F started very well.
Yes,
what happened?
Yes. You know,
as a matter of fact, it didn't start very well.
Oh, it didn't start
very well.
No.
It started well.
Let me explain. Because you see, you are dealing with.
It is time. Please write it down. I'll give it time.
That's why I will come. Even when I see that you are here, I'll come. Once you have promised me time, I'm here.
I'll give it time.
So it's targeted at import substitution. Look, there are jobs people get immediately. Where do they go to? China. You give somebody close supply and go, immediately they go to China. You get it? Because of the price competitiveness there. You get it? So production cost, this in Kukwonketenkete is a good thing. You get it? Even though in the campaign process, sometimes like you poo-poo it, but it's a good thing, you know, for every household to be engaged in some of these things. I pray they'll be able to roll it out properly and so that it will have the impact and effect it's targeted to achieve. You get it? And it's all going to address the import substitution, as he said.
Right.
You know, the importation of kukufunu and other things. You get it? Though it's some people's business, but if we're able to do it successfully here, it's substituting that. And then it's replicated elsewhere. The vehicle assemblage plants and co, I think that one, the government hasn't, you know, attached it yet. I think we encourage that to continue. Okay. And again, yes, this government's, the gold board issue is also a good thing. I get ambassadors, there are media people who are ambassadors for promoting Ghanaian jewelry, gold and other things. It's a good thing, you get it. But the proper way of mining and then purchasing of those gold is what we need to look at and work at, you get it. So it's a good thing that the government will be taking policy decisions that will help to roll up jobs for the young people. Okay, that is important. And another aspect, our reserves. When the NPP was leaving, we had about 8.9 billion in our treasury. Today is around 11 billion. It's good. We are building the reserve, okay? And we started the gold purchase policy. This government is continuing it, which is good. You get it? Because we need to have a gold reserve treasury. You know, when we're doing economics at the lower level, they said a store of value.
So will you say the government is on the right path?
Well, as far as trade issues are concerned, these ones, I think is the way to go. You get it, especially the stabilization of the forex. You get, even though the medium to long term we may have consequences, but for now, somebody said, "Look, George, now we're having the benefits." You get it. So why do you say it's not good?
Okay,
let the long term come and let's see
which political decision do you think was made this year that you think will help shape Ghana's future?
Political decision, off the top of my head, I can grapple with one immediately. But before I'll be thinking about that. But the Ufuriata issue, if you permit me 1 second, Solomon said something that we borrowed and he has to handle. There's a Ministry of Finance. There are records. You get it. You can go into that. And people, what happens to trial in absentia? You can do that. You get it. They are getting him to come, extradited and beg SML and those allegations. I think they don't have legs to stand on. But that will be determined at the court. But if it's about borrowing money, there are avenues to determine that the monies were properly utilized or misapplied. That one, the record is there, you get it. And so that is it. But if you are convinced, the OSP and the Attorney General are convinced that of Ken Ufuriata Honorable has done something untoward and misapplied or misused or embezzled state funds, there are ways, if the extradition is facing challenges, it can do trial in absentia. And once you determine, the decision is determined, what happens? You get it. Then you can properly make a case in the United States that there's been trial. He's been found guilty, convicted. So, yes. So these are issues that...
Sedina was tried in absentia, so they can do it as well.
But he's supposed to be coming from the New Patriotic Party, so he's supposed to be a patriotic citizen.
I'm a patriot.
When you are told that a former Minister of State has led us into such a despicable act.
Presumptuous.
And you should come and answer, and you are telling us that we can be dealing with it in its absence, then you are not being patriot.
Why?
You are not being patriot.
But the law says
the law says
you need him here. The very reason why
it can't be
medical grounds. He's out there on medical grounds.
She's still there chilling.
So that's why you think that...
No, he's out there on medical grounds.
Who is on medical grounds?
Yes,
the very reason
he's there. You can do the trial.
Medical grounds. Why didn't he invest in our medical facilities? So that
and his lawyers are here. They said they will cooperate.
Anyway, you wanted to talk about...
the 1D1.
Yes.
Immediately the NPP came to power. Because of the hatred for...
Oh, stop that hatred thing. He was a cabinet minister, for Christ's sake.
Hold on. You keep on saying hatred, yet the same man was appointed as minister under the Akufo-Addo government.
He couldn't have done anything otherwise.
How?
Because you see, politically...
He was the president.
No. Politically, look, you think President Akufo was so happy with the President Akufo-Addo when he was the president? But when he was messing up at the Attorney General, he had to push him to the foreign. But if he was doing well, why was he pushed from the Attorney General to...
But if you do... No, I'm not taking your time. I'm just asking you. If you do reshuffling, how is that hatred?
No, let me tell you. That's why I said one day, bring the topic, and I will show you, I'll give you pointers. How is it that someone will write a trade policy and say that, given the opportunity in government, you implement 1D1F. You come to power, the person that wrote that policy is not dead, you have given a trade ministry to handle, then you take away the 1D1F, go and set up a secretariat under the presidency and give it to Gifty Kuledu. I myself wrote a proposal to Gifty Kuledu to be doing what? Both and not. When I went to Gifty Kuledu, the first 7 months, the only proposal she had gotten was, these plantain chips. I told the woman, are you for real? You have promised Ghanaians that you are going to deal with the unemployment situation massively, and here you are, the only proposal I see on your table is plantain chips. When they realized they were messing up, and Allah was fighting them. Allah was fighting them. That was when you were sending the whole policy back to Mr. Chemate. Now, when they gave it to Mr. Chemate, to let him fail, they only allocated under 400 million cedis to him. Allah had to use his credibility within the banking sector to, as it were, help these private sector people to go and get loans to the tune of 3 billion. That's how come you saw the 296 companies at various stages of completion.
There's a message that has come in for you, and it's coming from Honorable Makrokre Mansi. He says that if it's about forest mining, it's the Akufo-Addo government. But if it's good news on trade, then it's the doing of Alan. Was Alan part of the Akufo-Addo government, or he was a consultant only for trade? Solomon is always picking and choosing.
Minister.
Which party did he belong to himself between 2016 to 2022?
Okay, cool. It's music that is good for him. I think politics is not good for him, and he will write this. You understand?
How will you say that?
But what he has said,
these are factual.
This is music. Okay, cool. It's music that is good for him. What is he talking about? That I have come here to make my point. Minister,
he's a former.
it is the reason why this country couldn't develop.
Oh no.
That's writing this to me.
But if he says what he says, everybody has an opinion. You have an opinion.
No, but if he says,
why are you saying that he doesn't have an opinion?
I would say president. Trader, I would say Alan.
So this is the catch.
It's a good question.
People send messages.
This is the catch.
Just because you don't know them personally,
This is
don't
the catch.
attack.
I know him. I know the judge.
No, so if
I know. You see,
why are you attacking his
This guy you
personality?
don't
Why are you
know
attacking?
his,
But if you
I am
say that
only
he's only
giving-
good for music, that's
I
right.
am only giving you an advice that politics is not good for you. It is music that is his field. Because either that he won't write it.
Who is politics?
He asked you a good question. Answer the question.
Which question is that?
See, he says, if it's about Galamsey, you say Akufo-Addo. If it's about trade, success,
And the good side of trade is Alan.
So this is it. The Galamsey issue that we spoke of. We had Alistair Matthias on tape saying that he was doing a connection with President Akufo-Addo, and every month they were shipping $40 million to $60 million worth of gold from this country. The last
And
time
that is Galamsey.
I'm coming. The last time I checked, I did not see or was not shown any company that belonged to President Akufo-Addo that was into mining. So for which reason, and it was that time that Galamsey had got into its crescendo. So would I not be right in saying that the president of the day, because he himself was involved in gold matters, was rather encouraging Galamsey?
It's so sad though.
What is that? So if I am telling you that he was involved, in any case, Professor Frimpong Boate's report actually gives President Akufo-Addo out. He said, and I quote him, that at one point he met, what's the name, Sir John, Professor Frimpong Boate, together with Sir John and President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House. He looked straight into Sir John's face and told President Akufo-Addo that this man was a danger to Ghana's forest. He was engaged in Galamsey. What did the president then do? If he was so complicit,
How?
that you are the president, your own cabinet minister that you have entrusted the environment and science minister,
and yet he's fighting.
and he is telling you that this man sitting here, right by you, is a danger to our forest, that he was the one behind all the Galamsey. Did the president act?
Solomon, I just want to find out if I'm working with you.
Yes.
If somebody meets me and the person says you're a murderer, must I take you to the police?
No. If you are giving me, if the person give you an assignment to investigate me, you understand, and your conclusion is that I'm a murderer, and you meet the person and you tell the person, because the person trusted you so much, trusted your integrity, that's why the person gave you the assignment. So if you give the person a report and the person does not act, it means the person is complicit.
No.
What is this?
No.
You gave Professor Frimpong a job to do.
A deeper
the person gave you a report, a comprehensive one.
True.
The person said that Mr. What's the name? Sir John was so complicit, was so involved in the activity, and he did not act. How do you want me to see you?
No, okay.
In any case, remember Akunta mining issue?
Yes.
When there had not been any committee to even investigate the matter, what did the president say? He said Akunta mining was not involved in any form or shape in Galamsey matters. But mind you, when Alan Temante was accused, remember the cars for seat matter. When a mere accusation, not backed by any evidence, they caused Parliament to do a parliamentary inquiry about Alan Temante. What I'm telling you certain things, that was just pure hatred.
Oh, come on.
One day, bring that topic and we'll discuss it. So that is why I told you that if Okreku was that mindful, he wouldn't send what he has sent.
No, if you say that.
You know the executive president.
Don't go there with the executive president. I'm giving you another
Wait, Solomon, like I said, everybody's entitled.
So you are out of NPP because of bitterness.
But don't say.
Why? What is bitterness? Can you define bitterness? You yourself wanted to get out of NPP at the point invite you. You wanted to get out of it at the point.
Get out of NPP.
Do it today, deny everything. You deny.
You see what you are doing? It's not good. You don't know master planner, and you are accusing me. I'm here. You are my brother.
Go back to the message that master planner sent. Whether he knows me or not. Read the. You see, to put the matters in the right perspective. Go back. He said he doesn't know me.
You don't know it.
Go back and read the message he sent.
He says you don't know him.
What I'm saying is that
that's what he's saying.
whoever sends the message, let's take it in good faith and just say what.
I took it in good faith and I gave the appropriate response.
But
so don't have the right
the fact that
there was no time in my life I considered
He's running away. He's not a man.
No, I'll come to you, George. I'll come to you.
You were straight here.
We are fight within. Right now, I'm connected, right?
You are what? You are with Ken. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah. We can talk briefly about it because we are entering January very soon. Solomon,
lead me not into temptation.
No, don't talk again. It's okay.
Don't talk.
Deliver ourselves from evil.
It's okay.
Because if we are going to go,
apologize to Minister.
He must apologize to Alan Chamati. He must apologize to Alan Chamati.
You must apologize.
He must apologize to
Why should he apologize to us?
Why must I apologize to him?
What did he say about Alan? He didn't say anything wrong about it.
He expressed
an opinion. If it's good, you say it's
he expressed an opinion.
If it's bad,
I have also expressed an opinion, but you have a problem with my opinion.
No, I don't have a problem with.
So then what are we discussing?
I have a problem with the fact that you said that he is not good for.
No, politics is not good for you. At any given day, what I mean, music is good for him. He was doing very well with Mentor. He has been doing very well with him.
He did well as deputy minister.
That's
Let me
talent. That is talent.
Look, I think Solomon is being
George. End of the month. End of the month. You're going to the polls. So you said you are connected.
Very connected. Okay. Next month.
Yes.
Connected.
So next month, January, end of January. You're very connected.
Very connected.
What made you join the connected team?
Oh, because of the vision of Honorable Ken Agyapong, a very determined pragmatist. We've had a lot of theoretical economic postulations and co. We think we need a hands-on person who knows how to create jobs and give young people opportunities to do jobs. And that is what he's bringing to the table, the youth. Jobs. Because as his wife, Mama Christie said, President Kufuor gave the free maternal for the young people and mothers and co. Nanado brought the free SHS. President Mahama is gotten the tertiary first year thing. When all these crystallize to the end, they need jobs. So we need a leader who has got what it takes to create that opportunity. And in my understanding and my belief, it is Honorable Ken Agyapong who can lead us on that trajectory. This is his time. And we need to rally behind him to push that agenda. And I know the NPP delegates are going to do justice to that on the 31st of January 2026.
Some people say he uses harsh tones, and you don't need a leader like that because it looks like what people are saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't have emotional intelligence.
Look, when we got on board, we had a lot of meetings and co, and we raised some of these issues, the sentiments of the people. We raised it, but it's part of things we need to work on. He agreed with us that we need to. Have you
worked on it?
Yes, of course. When was the last time you heard Honorable Ken being vituperative? When was the last time? You get it. That's why we also said let Ken be Ken. We know it's not going to be an overnight transition. Okay, we allow him to be him, but then, because it's a concern and a worry to a lot of the Ghanaian people, we need to work on it. You get it? In fact, he knows. When Anado came, beginning, his English, a lot of people had difficulty understanding or even hearing what he was saying. It took some time, you get it, and work on him to be able to get to appreciate what he was saying. To be a bit slow, you get it. And it worked. Ultimately, we got power. The conduct, yes, that's Ken. He's very passionate, you get it. And sometimes when he fights for the NPP, Rosalind, if you put about 11 million, 18 million CDs to support your party,
okay, in any given campaign, and my conduct is derailing the effort of the investment you're making, how will you feel?
Whose conduct is that?
Mine, no, let's say me. Okay. I'm MPP, you get it. And this man believes in the MPP and is investing. And yet, every day what I do seems to be dragging the party back. You think he will be happy with me? He will speak it, the way it ought to be said.
But he can speak it in a more...
No, everybody and his approach. Donald Trump speaks it the way he wants to speak it. You get it? Sometimes we need such people. And they wouldn't allow you to do certain things. These issues we talk about, corruption and co. No. Probity, honesty, and accountability. You get it?
Solomon, do you think Ken will be the man to help the NPP come back to power?
We need to.
So 2028, the only candidate that will be there to be Alan Chivati. I don't see any one of them measures to Alan.
Alan did not.
Come on, this is a party that has told us that those that want to lead them have sinned.
Sinned?
But you have given Ken 10 cents, but we are 30 cents, 60 cents. So on the 31st of January 2026, all that they will do is to be electing the holy sinner. Now they will be presenting to us. No, but I didn't say it.
When did you learn?
They gave us the sinners, the list of. They gave the list of. In fact, Ken himself has been going around. Now when you ask me, he said he won't talk.
He doesn't want the 11.
Absolutely, did I say it? So a party that is saying that all these leaders have sinned, going to give us the
What is Brian saying? What is Brian saying?
Oh, he was going to buy the hotel.
Oh, okay.
You understand? He was going to buy. But on the other, they said the cost of the e-gate was even expensive than the cost of the airport itself. The truth of the matter is that those that advise Ken to tone down, they have done a great disservice to him.
No.
Everybody knows Ken to be outgoing. Me, I would have voted for his harvest. Because look, you can't change a person's demeanor.
Let him be him.
Then you are making him a hypocrite.
No.
You understand? He became prominent to the people of this country because of those things that he was saying. Now you have said that he should recall.
No, he's still saying
he must say
way he says it.
The truth of the matter is
the way he says
they can even go into the pocket of the Pope, all of them. In 2028, it will be a disaster.
Oh, Ken is winning.
We cannot look at the big hole at Rich, that big hole, and go back and vote for them. The longer Ken Ofori-Atta stays out of this country, the longer the NPP will stay in opposition. It's as simple as that.
Look, cathedrals, the US really? Cathedral, the French cathedral.
Did they dig a hole? 800 so you go take my years. What are you talking about?
Some took 5
what are you talking about?
6 years.
You should look at the hole and go and vote for you. Next time you know what to do. You may think that
8 years.
Let me read a few messages. Good morning, the boss. Honestly, I am a die-hard fan NDC member, but the honorable member on the panel must listen to his colleagues on the panel. We are looking at the interests of Ghana at large, but not politics. The 5% is not good enough, so it should be reviewed. However, the CSO consultation alone is not enough to decide in this. Oh, you didn't write to us. Boss, you didn't write to us. I think you are watching a different station. You ended up typing to us. Good morning, Madam Host. It's always unfortunate listening to the bitterness of Solomon, who benefited from the previous government. These guys have no...
I have never benefited from any government. I am a private... I have never benefited from any government. I do my private business.
He's a private person.
People come to collapse my business.
The policy...
Having invested in the MPP, they collapse my business.
The Ghana investment...
They are so wicked people.
If you are not there from the Ghana investment fund.
Me, I have never
I saw you talking about the
let me read a few more messages. Good morning, host. Good morning, host. The NPP has no right to criticize NDC because we gave them 8 years to transform our lives, but rather inflicted us on untold hardships, kenke parties, pension head cuts, e-levies, COVID taxes, and galamsey economy because party here sika. What we want from MPP is to apologize to their iniquities and atrocities and stop criticizing everything as if they were angels in office. Okay, please join Prime. Management of the CD by the government is very scary and baddest. Pumping $10 billion to stabilize the CD is very lazy and sluggish. sluggish. That 10 billion and 2 billion could have completed our agenda 111 to create employment of 90,000 nurses, and 2 billion could have employed 100,000 teachers into the GES, and the remaining $6 billion could have completed many roads and still stabilize the city to benefit a lot of people. But the government wasted 10 billion to stabilize city. Still, the youth are not employed. Farmers are suffering and gave poor salary increments. The Bank of Ghana and the government will account for that $10 billion they pumped into the market. Yes, cedi is still around 12 Ghana cedis to $1. With the $10 billion pumped into the market, the cedi should have been trading around 9 Ghana cedis to $1, and not that failed and disappointed cedi appreciation. Let Solomon know that NPP party and government never accused Ken Agyapong as corrupt. So NPP cannot will not ask or bring. Okay. The rest is not coming.
Why did the MPs go to Parliament to get him censured?
Solomon, this one is for you. This one is for you.
Yes.
Why Solomon is deliberately lambasting whatever is associated with NPP? Why is his party also giving way for a flag bearership candidate a chance to contest Alan, or towing the Parkwesi Indum one-party system style that saw the collapse of his party miserably? Why smile?
Alan is going to contest if he wants to contest.
Alan is history.
So is Alan contesting?
Alan can never be history.
He's history.
Alan can never be history.
Is anybody?
Alan can.
I love him.
Who is president?
Is anybody contesting Alan?
No, if you want to, Roslyn, if
President
you want to, you can
Ken.
come and then when we open nominations, come and contest. But so far as I'm concerned, he will win.
Win your primaries.
And win the national.
OPK patriotic voices go. So regards to Dr. Digitalization Baumia, incoming flag bearer of the NPP 2028, and Mr. Samuel Osei Sarkodie, incoming NPP Eastern Regional Youth Organizer. Ghana has witnessed 2 significant display of support for LGBTQ+ this year, one involving the desecration of the Independence Square by 2 gay Christians, and the other the decoration of the Jubilee House with gay colors 2 days ago, which had government officials and NDC members in attendance. And is this the rest and Abba and Papa Abba, the promised Ghanaians? Is it appropriate to characterize Honorable Bagman as a chronic liar for asserting that he is willing to sacrifice his life to ensure the passage of the anti-LGBT? I'm reading messages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
LGBT, they use the supermajority. Sam George, I respect and admire you.
Good morning, Roslyn. Solomon Owusu and his presidential candidate, Alan, was part of the Nanado administration as a Minister of Trade. We haven't seen any changes when it comes to imports and exports. It's also contribution factor to NPP losing election, and a agric sector farmer cannot access fertilizer and farming inputs to work on their farm. Ghanaians have learned their lesson. We will hold any government accountable. They have taken us for granted. Mahmoud is sending this. So Mahmoud says that.
Is that what?
He says you were part to all the way to 2022.
Them.
Which one?
But you were part of
We have not run away from people. We were part, and we said that look, Nanado was leading this country into abyss, and we left.
You left where? You were there after you wanted to contest.
2022.
Because at that time, she wanted to contest. We felt that we had the opportunity of causing them to do what was right.
And Anna was still Minister for Trade.
And Minister of Trade that they removed special initiative. You know how Owusu was the minister responsible for special initiative. Which Minister of Trade and Industry will not have special initiative under him? If I'm going to speak about Alan.
So
and he was there.
Tell me the success of Alan as a Minister for Trade.
Please apologize to Minister.
Do that. Just say it.
Oh,
I'll give you 3 minutes to do it. I'll give you 3 minutes.
He gave you the Africa Continental Free Trade. Is that not the case? He developed the automotive development policy for you. Now you have Toyota, Nissan assembling in this country. Is that not the case? Guidec and Co. He introduced because he wanted industrialization. He wanted us to process all our raw materials into finished and semi-finished products.
You believe Jadek?
And when he
his idea, Gisdek and Jadek,
and took over the 1D1F, he was able to construct 296 1D1F at various stages.
You say it wasn't under him.
But later he went for it. I told you, you don't even listen to me. When you fought Akufo-Addo and people.
This decade,
Hatred
where Akufo-Addo's brainchild.
Hatred.
In opposition.
Akufo-Addo has never had brainchild in anywhere.
All right.
I was at communication trainings where
You had Nadmo had nothing to do with any trade business. You were only interested in disaster.
House, yes.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying communication.
Okay,
Communication.
When we were in opposition,
You had all been brainwashed to go after.
Akufo-Addo rolled out these ideas.
So
Akufo-Addo had this idea.
Yes.
The only idea Akufo-Addo had was to dig a hole and nothing else.
And this
2028 is definitely going to be interesting. I
made
must
it clear.
say.
They are not part of the
we have
debate.
how
Because none of
Ken
the
is winning,
candidates fits the billing.
Ken is winning the
they
primaries.
will still
and
be a part of
consequently will be the
2028
president.
elections. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. We are grateful. George Ahisi represented the NPP, and Solomon Owusu represented United Party.